Okay. All right. So, hey guys, my name's Cara from Enchanted Vines, and I am here to do a live collab with TMI Gifts. They sent me a bunch of beautiful items. I know that it's focused around the peonies, but I haven't actually looked beyond the peonies. So let me grab that right now. I mean, how fun is this? All right, so let's see what we're working with. So, of course, item number one is our 18-inch grapevine wreath. And I have to say, like, I get mine in bulk from other suppliers, and they are not this full. Like, this needs a little bit of cleaning up, but it's a nice looking wreath, and it's round. You know how, like, you get them and, you know, they're oval, and then you gotta squish them and all that stuff. Okay, so beautiful 18-inch grapevine wreath. Great start. Then we have some greenery. So this is asparagus. I think it's like asparagus fern. It's all gonna be listed on like the flyer, and then I'll also make sure I can list it with any questions. But this stuff is very lifelike. It's got a soft texture to it, and the greenery looks very real. So I like this. This is the new green for me. All right, so these are so pretty. These are, Maggie, I know you like the ASMR, whatever, so hopefully you're enjoying all this crackling. Okay, so these are some roses. It's like if only someone had given me a guide, which they did. Okay, so that was an asparagus fern, the greenery. And then this is the Garden Cream Rose Spray. These look so realistic. I mean, like they've got blooms in different stages. The color's beautiful. I like the foliage on it. So, and these are things that, you know, we can either cut up or we can spread out just to really maximize our use of them. And if you've watched me before, I have literally no plan. I'm going in blind, so I will be figuring this out on the spot. All right, so we have two of these. Gorgeous, very happy with those. We have a welcome sign. So I wasn't really into the metal signs until the last one they sent me, and I was like, oh my gosh, the quality is so good. And I don't think that these are going to have any issue being like in the outdoor elements. I think they're going to do just fine. Like, these are really high quality, and they have a great price to them. Usually, not usually, in general, they have a great price. All right, so grabbing some ribbon. Okay, so we're going to do something kind of neutral, something that's going to be like kind of soft, like the peonies. I get so excited when I get new materials. I don't know about you guys, but, well, I know you guys do because we all over shop. But this is, I think it's the eucalyptus. These are all very, very lifelike. So this is a wax plant. All right, so this is a 22-inch silk wax plant bundle. And not only do they look real, but they feel real. So I know we're going to use them in a wreath tonight. But if you were doing like a centerpiece for your home, like these are the types of greeneries that like somebody's going to accidentally water. Like, they, honest to God, are beautiful. I don't know if this does it justice, but you know when you get like that true like spring green color. Oh, I think this is a gift. This is not related to the wreath because it's not we're not cooking here, but oh my gosh, I'm gonna open this later, but I'm super excited. I mean, who doesn't love a surprise? This is a surprise. So excited. And then and thank you TMI Gifts. I geek out about this stuff. So, and then these are the star of our show. So these are our peonies, and I believe they're already on sale. And then there's going to be a coupon code. I think it's Cara20. So let's see. These are only $10. Okay, and we have 2, 4, 6, 7 stems in each. So these are amazing. I have an extra bundle. I had, just in case, I just want to make sure that I was covered. But these are absolutely gorgeous. Like, you could use these for like a wedding bouquet. Like, these are beautiful. So we have all different stages. So like, we'll separate them. We have like some baby peonies, and then we have some like of the larger, like the mama peonies. So I'm really excited for this. So let's get going, okay? So I am going to start off just getting the bow ready, and then we'll jump right into the wreath, okay? So if you know me, you know also doing like the complicated bows or multi-layered bows aren't always my strong suit, but we shall see. Oh my gosh, so we got Rita, Maggie, George, Leslie, Amy. Amy, I can't believe you let work get in the way of these lives. I mean, it's so rude. We have Dawn, we have Betty. Oh, seeing your name makes me so happy, all of you guys. Thank you. All right, so to start off with the bow, I think I'm gonna grab the Easy Bow Maker. I cleaned my workshop, so I'm just trying to think of where I put it, but let me grab it real quick. I just remembered where I put it. Okay. All right, so because I'm going to be using 2 different types of ribbon, I'm just more comfortable using the Easy Bow Maker. That way I can just kind of lay it out and it's going to hold. So, let me prepare in the way I prepare for things, and let's bring it down and we'll make a bow together. And you know, I tell you all, there are a million amazing bow makers out here, out in the World Wide Web. So I'm just a girl trying to get by when it comes to bows. But let's see what we can do here. Hi, Susan. So glad you guys are all here. I'm not kidding when I say, like, you know, we have this group started on YouTube, and it's like, it's exciting because it's so new. Like, we have, I think, 52 members. It's been going for not even 6 weeks, I think. But literally, the members are the best part. I can't, like, I'd love to say it was me, but it's not. So I don't know. You guys need like commission or something, because you really do make the group so special. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our 2.5 inch wired ribbon, and this is called, it's something natural with the polka dots. I mean, I'm gonna list this all at the end anyways, but natural background with like polka dots. Okay, so 2.5 inch wired ribbon is always my sweet spot. That's what I'm comfy with. All right. And yeah, we have a few new members. I have to introduce them. We have Rita Ring. We have Melissa. I was messaging with someone earlier, and she actually lives like a town away, which I'm super excited about. So I have a few people to introduce tomorrow. All right, so to start, I am going to make just one tail. And as I put it through the dowels of the Easy Bow Maker, I'm just going to give it a crisp twist. Okay, I could not figure out the bow maker for at least a year, possibly longer, and it was because I was not doing the full twist. All right, so let's start off with, we're gonna do some 5-inch loops. So when I measure it at the 5-inch, I like to just give it a little press. Accuracy is not always my strong suit, so if I leave it kind of like full and fluffed, I don't think I'm gonna get a great measurement or an accurate measurement. So now I've brought it back through the dowels. Okay, so like the pretty side of the ribbon is facing down. And I'm going to go to the 5 inches. I'm gonna give that just a little press. I just wanna make sure at least my initial measurement is accurate, because then after that I can kind of just go on top of what I've already done. All right. Geraldine, how are we? Do we like Sundays? Is that like a good time? I was like, it's either gonna be a great time or people are gonna be like, why? This is not what I want to do on at the end of my weekend. All right, so once I put it through the dowels again, I'm gonna just give it a nice twist. Just overlap it on my original loop. All right, Maggie's saying yes. Maggie likes this time slot. Yeah, this week it worked out great, so I am always open to feedback. All right, so we're gonna be making in total 6 of these 5-inch loops. Okay, so this is the 6th one. I feel bad. I really wanted to double stream on TikTok today because TMI is so good to me. I'm like, I really wanted to just double up the platforms, and I should have started working on that little contraption sooner. I think I'm like missing a screw. I mean, clearly I'm missing a screw, but I think to set it up, I was missing a screw. All right, so now I'm gonna go down to 4 inches. So I'm gonna look on my Easy Bow Maker. It really does make it so easy. Measure it to 4. Okay, and then we're gonna give it a twist. Geraldine, it's raining in LA, but how warm are you? Don't just give us the bad news. You give us the good news too. Because in New Hampshire, we had snow last week. If you want to talk about making people not in the mood to buy spring wreaths, you just have Mother Nature come by and just, you know, have a good laugh at your expense. All right. So I'm gonna make. I'm gonna channel my inner Amy Hoffman, and just drop it because of the twisting. Okay, so now I'm gonna make 6 of the 4-inch loops. Andrea, how come you're late on a Sunday, but when you're working, you are like right there? I want to know. Me and your boss, we both want to know. Oh my gosh. Hi, Marie. Thanks for joining us. Oh, I know. It's Sunday. I was like, I enjoy designing with a glass of wine. It's just me in my happy place, I guess. And honestly, so I have some things that are coming up. I have like a bunch of like passion projects I've been shopping for. So they're really not tied to orders. They're more like, I mean, hopefully they turn into orders, but they're things that personally I want to do. I don't know if that happens to you guys too. I know I had posted that floral arrangement with all of the oranges and grapefruits with like the resin oranges. And there's just something about it that resonated with me so much that I'm just so excited to make it. And I got a lot of the materials in. I'm just waiting on a couple things. Oh, Donna is not sounding too sad when she tells us it's 80 degrees and sunny in Kentucky. Good for you, Donna. You send some of that this way, please. All right, so this is our 6th 4-inch loop. Okay, now I'm going to cut it for a tail. All right, and then they gave me this other pretty ribbon. It is, I think it's like a 1.5 inch pale pink basket weave ribbon. And this is really pretty. I think these two pair together nicely because the peonies are soft. I know sometimes we like the bold, but sometimes just that like softness I think is also a very welcomed look. And I like the way the patterns go against each other. All right, so for this, I think I'm just gonna do 4 4-inch loops, and then I'll do the button. The ribbon is so pretty, I agree. And their pricing is really, really great. I think they're one of the main places I've bought my ribbon from this season. I know there's a few, I think there's like maybe one other, but in general, I've been like so happy with all of the ribbon I've had from here. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a tail. And then I wanna just do a button. All right, Andrea, I am ready. I am ready for you. All right, so for the button, I never really measure this. I like a nice juicy button, so it's probably gonna be about 3 inches. I'm not sure. And then I'm just feeding the ribbon back through, so it's okay that the tails are both on the same side, because we're gonna put the wire through where the dowel was. All right, so before I take it off the dowel, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna spread these out. And I like to spread them out first just because I feel like they're a bit more malleable once you kind of put them, you know, like tight together with the wire. I don't think there's as much ability to move them around. So I like to spread them out first. And we have some amazing bow makers in this group. Many, many. I know we've got Amy, we've got Donna, and I know there's more. I'm waiting for you guys to show me all the things that you do. And I almost said y'all, which is so funny because my husband, every time I say y'all, he's like, you've been talking to wreath makers. I'm like, I know. All right, so I slid this off the dowel, and now I'm going to get this wire in right under my thumb. My thumb and my pointer finger are holding this together right now. And we want to make sure we get it right in the middle, because if we don't, it's going to be lopsided. I've left one tail out. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Back on track, Jack. Is the craft fair inside or out, Donna? Because honestly, like, it's one of those things. I'm just gonna be fluffing my bow while I chat. But I think when it comes to like craft fairs and all that stuff, if the weather's too nice, people aren't gonna be out shopping. So you want it to be like in that in-between area. But of course, if you're gonna be outside, you don't want to be chilly either. Yeah, Maggie did a jumbo bow. Maggie, don't say you're tempted to share it. Share it. That's what we're doing here. That is exactly what we're doing here, and that's what I love about it. Maggie last week shared her wreath that she did. It was a beautiful blue, I think it was blue and white. It was definitely blue toned, and it sold 30 minutes later. So show us what you got, Maggie, and anybody else in the group. I mean, really, this is a group that is leading with kindness and support, and I don't want anybody to feel like nervous or not not like their work is worthy, because you guys keep wowing me. I'm like, I don't know. I could be following your page just as easily as you're following this one. So I really don't want people to be holding themselves back because they are not not lacking, but you don't have the confidence that matches your talent. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is like the talent is there. Get the confidence that matches it, because you are there and people want to buy your work. I mean, the fact that Maggie's wreath sold 30 minutes later says like the right person was like waiting for that wreath. All right, so I'm fluffing up my loops. I am gonna dovetail. Go back down here. Oh, that's a little far. All right, so for the thinner ribbons, I always like to just cut them diagonal. And then I like to cut the 2.5 inch, I like to dovetail them. All right, so Donna's is outside and you have derby hats. Are you in the Carolinas? Marion is a member of the month. I did make an emoji for Marion. There is one. It is the gold star and it is established by Marion. So I know you guys use the emojis. I don't know how you know to use them. I don't know where that comes from, but there is a gold star and it's Marion's right now, but it can be to anybody else. It's just that she established it in April of 2024. She is the gold star OG, we will say. All right, I'm going to put this on a floral pick. Yes, exactly. All right. Geraldine feels me. The confidence that matches your talent. And as we all know, our talent just gets better and better and more, it evolves, but those things don't evolve if we like keep it under, like my boss used to say, hide it under a bushel or something like that. Like if you keep it hidden and there's no light on it, then it's not going to shine. People aren't going to see it. And there's not going to be a whole lot of growth from that. But when you show people what you're doing and you get the response that you deserve, you're going to say like, all right, I got that covered. Like, what's next? And you just go from there. I'm telling you, I hope you guys saw the wreath I posted the other day that was like from years ago. And I was so proud of that wreath when I made it. Like I was like, I'm going to put this on Facebook. I wasn't selling at the time, I don't think. I was just so proud of it. And, you know, when you think about all the things you do over the course of the years to learn and to grow, got to put it out there though. You need that feedback. You need to know what things people are more drawn to, because that's also going to give you some guidance. It's also going to tell you who your right customer is. So if you notice that, you know, certain things are drawing in the right customer for you, the one that feels like a good fit, then that's kind of your cue, if it works for you as well, that's what you should be focusing on. All right, so we have our bow. She's pretty. She's pretty. So I'm going to put the bow down now because I need to clean up the wreath, and we'll get started there. I just always like to get the bow out of the way, so then we can just move. All right, so let's go over here. Sorry for anybody on the live. What is good is now that I'm semi figuring out editing, I can like spare you all getting motion sickness because I can delete it. But what I'm going to do right now is, even though this is beautiful, and some people really love like all of this, like these natural little curls, I like something polished. That's just me. It's whatever your style is, but I like to just go through and just kind of clean these up a bit. There are 0 leaves in here. There's no pine needles, no bird feathers, which is always a relief. This is a very good quality 18-inch grapevine wreath. So I know a couple people took advantage. There was the Sure Bonder sale. It might still be going on, I'm not sure, but we talked about the red, the green, which is like the original, which is great, versus the pink. So my preference is towards the pink only because it starts off at a lower heat. I think the green starts off just a little bit on the hot side. Okay, so looking at this, I'm going to pick the least attractive side, which this is a beautiful wreath, but if I leave all of this open for this crescent style wreath, it's going to look even more full because this is so thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a thick piece of grapevine here. If you take a bunch of these like little thin pieces, I mean, they can break so easily. So you need to find a thick part. If there's really no option where the top is, then I would just say go really deep and make your jute wire really long. But for this one is going to do. So I'm going to slide this through, and then we're just going to twist the ends like so. Okay, and then we're going to slide this down because we want to hide that. And where we have the top of our loop, we're just going to take our ribbon and we're just going to tighten a knot. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's just going to be our little North Star, so that when we're designing, if we get a little bit off track, we know where our top is. Okay. So I am going to start with putting the bow on, and then we'll work our way out from the bow, okay? And I know during this, there's really barely any point in fluffing this right now because this is going to continue to get fluffed and get smushed, but I just want to kind of see how wide this is going to go out. I really love these patterns. I think especially like the polka dots, these things photograph so well. So like when you're doing a listing and someone's scrolling through on Etsy, these are the things that jump out at people. So you know, if you're on Etsy, you're taking 10 photos and a video. The video's got to be at least 5 seconds, which I forget so often and I drive myself nuts, but you want to make sure that you are capturing every detail. So if you have a beautiful bow, or you want to get a close-up of your florals, all of those things you capture between those photos and the video. Hey, Kimberly, nice to see you. Oh, Donna has the birds. Hey, Michelle, thanks for being here. I think I've like shared with you guys that I was having like a back and forth with the birds trying to nest on my front door. And I really couldn't have it happen because I can't photograph otherwise. So I had moved the nest, blah, blah, blah. You guys have probably heard the whole story, but the birds moved to my parents' house, which is next door to me. And oh my gosh, they are so cute. They look like furry old men, like their eyes are like kind of shut and they're just hysterical. So they did find a home. I really still wanted them to. I moved the wreath to the back side of my house that they were trying to nest in. I was hoping that was going to work. I just love seeing nature. I love seeing everything, the little baby animals, but it didn't work out. But my mom is getting to enjoy them right now. So she's smart. She has like this pansy wreath that I made last year. And so she just kind of like hosed it off, and now every year at this point when like she knows that the birds are going to be nesting, she's just going to use that. Like she's not worried about ruining a nice wreath or anything like that. All right, so starting with our first piece of, I think this was like a wax silk green. We're going to use this for our height. And honestly, this is something that could be broken up so many different ways. but I'm going to do the top corner and kind of fan that out. Let me see if this is Real Touch. Okay, so they're called Natural Touch. And actually this is called Silk Wax Plant. So the fern is Natural Touch, and then this is a silk plant. Hey, Penny Coleman. How are you, my friend? All right, so now I'm just going to repeat this and go in the bottom corner. And again, we're just really fanning these out because we want to get the most out of them. And we could have even cut these all up into individual pieces, but I think these are going to fill the corners nicely. These are nice and malleable. Okay. So now that we've got that going, I say we move into, let's see. Let me just set some parameters by cutting this up just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to take one here. And then we're going to break this into two different pieces. Actually, I'm going to break it down a little bit more. So I want this to just follow the natural curve of our wreath. So you know me, I like to set the parameters with the greenery, and this is no different. There's so many different options. I know I have like a go-to, but that definitely does not need to be what you use. I'm going to give this a nice bend, dip it in our glue. All right, and then let's do our peonies. So, speaking of our baby animals, my German Shepherd boy that I have been waiting for a while. So first off, I lost my main guy, Jax. I lost him a year ago this week. So I lost him on the 17th. And it's been a really hard, it's been a hard year without him, I'm not going to lie. And I have waited 4 litters for a sable boy. So the first litter didn't make it. The second litter didn't have a sable. The third litter was all girls. And so if this didn't happen, I was like, well, this is definitely the universe saying, like, it's just not meant to be. So when I found out that there was one, I was so happy. And the breeder keeps sending me videos. And, like, my guy is like, if all the puppies are, like, going for the mom, he goes off the blanket and he goes around them and he gets right to them. So the person breeding him, he says he is very healthy and hefty. So I'm very happy with that. And I do not just shop, I adopt and I foster. So I know that triggers people, and I just want to be very clear that I do both, that we foster for a shelter in Alabama frequently. So, all right. So let's start off. So we've got these, okay. First of all, these have this beautiful coating, okay? And if you were doing like a bouquet, I would say definitely leave them on. But when I'm working, let's see. If I'm working on a wreath, you can definitely still leave this on. I'm just curious, sometimes once you cut the bottom, it actually comes off. So I'd rather just use the wire on these because the plastic's gonna melt, which is, again, it's still fine. It's just this is just a cleaner way for me to do it. Okay, so I'm just taking off this outer plastic, but if I was using this for like an arrangement, a bouquet, any of those things, I would absolutely leave this on. It looks very, very natural. Yeah, it seems like once you cut the bottom, like, of course I don't know the mechanics behind this, but once you cut the bottom, it loosens it right up. Of course I said that, so. All right, we got these prepped. And then I don't want to forget that we have our roses too. Let's see. Oh, Penny. Okay. Penny said that she has 3 birds on her wreath, but what I'm wondering is why your Christmas wreath, Penny Coleman, is still up. You are a wreath maker, and you're a very good wreath maker. So the problem is not the birds. I want to know. I need some answers. I need some answers why your Christmas wreath is still up. Although I do think it's kind of like when you bake, you kind of serve yourself last sometimes. So I'm just kind of teasing you, or I am teasing you. All right, so I'm going to start with a small bloom here. Yeah, okay. So Maggie, the breeder that I use, so it's Fox Hill Farm in Amesbury, Mass. And my Jackie boy that I love and miss, he was kind of like a canine flunky. And then my Ertie girl that I have now, she was a show dog flunky. She was actually transported from Denmark to be a show dog, and she lacked drive, which now she has so much drive, she's like psychotic sometimes. But they breed and train a lot of the canines used throughout New England. So like they are like absolutely the best. So this is a collaboration between Fox Hill and a breeder named Ron. So in the end, it's all still their bloodline. So if you want any more information, definitely let me know. But he has the most beautiful litter right now. All right, so let's do some like alternating. Let me do some alternating. All right, am I blocking? And I think I am going to dip into the second set of peonies. Let me do it this way. All right, so we're kind of alternating. I know right now I'm doing the same size for alternating from high to low. And then I like to always have things thicker in the middle and then work themselves down so they kind of cascade thinner. Today I made a corsage and a boutonniere for my nephew because he's going to a prom in Florida, so obviously he can't bring fresh flowers down. And we used some Real Touch orchids, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's just so much with florals have just come such a long way. I hope everybody gives them the chance. Andrew wants to know what kind of dogs people have. So I have 1 shepherd, 2 on the way, and then I have Steve's a Chiweenie. He's like a Chihuahua wiener dog, and he's a bully. And then I have Bernie, who is a Parson Terrier, mutt, mix, whatever you want to say. And then Winnie is next door. I call her the poor man's sheepadoodle. She looks like a sheepadoodle, but she is just, you know, she's just a mix from Alabama, and she's the sweetest dog. So she is shared between my mother and I. We have co-custody, basically. All right, so let me see. Andrew, do you have any pets? I feel like with young girls, everything going on in your house, that might be kind of hard to do. So Maggie, your husband wants the shepherd. You want a small breed. Just get one of each. What we do with a lot of our dogs is when we foster them, we bring them to like dog-friendly breweries. It's just like people who are just very relaxed, and it's just like a nice environment to meet them. We've had some dogs that we don't even have for more than like a few days. It's like somebody meets them, they do their application, and then they're off to their forever home. But I will say we had this one dog who was like basically on death's row. I mean, yeah, that is, she was set to be euthanized, and so it was an emergency foster, so we took her, and she found, so somebody ended up applying for her in this area, which is weird because they're down in Alabama, but that little pup ended up becoming this family's entire world. And when I thought about the fact that she could have been put down just because, it made, like, I cried like a baby. It just made me so sad to think that all of that could have not happened. So I definitely believe in the importance of adopting. All right, so I'm going to start again down below. I'm going to start with my small blooms. All right, sorry, I just went on like a whole thing about dogs. Sorry. Get back to flowers. All right. All right, so I'm just going to kind of, again, mirror what we've done up top. And I like having these big blooms. Like, these blooms are gorgeous. I don't even know that, like, I mean, the foliage looks real. Like, the ruffles look real. Oh. Like, if I were a bride, I am so on board with people doing sustainable wedding decor and then selling it when their wedding is over and done with. Because you spend so much money and you have so many other things. I'm just going to move this greenery. You have so many other expenses. You know, whether it's your honeymoon, a new home, like any of those things, I say if you can get that money back and sell off some of your wedding decor, I would absolutely do it. Because you could have something using florals like this and no one would ever even know that they're not real. And as long as they're beautiful, that's really all that matters anyways. All right, so I'm just moving the parameter for this guy. Okay. Let's see, we still have options here. Winnie definitely gets the best of both worlds because she comes here, acts nuts, and then she gets worn out, and then she goes to my parents, and she acts like an angel. So they're like, oh, she's so sweet. And I'm like, she just literally ripped every pillow and blanket off every sofa in my house. But I love her. She's too cute to be mad at. She was here earlier, and yeah, she was acting a fool as usual, but I don't mind it. And animals are our fur babies. I agree. All right, so I'm just gonna put some of these smaller blooms closer to the bow. And I believe the materials for this whole thing were under $80. And then if you use the code, it's another 20% off. So it is a very good deal. So whether, you know, you have something coming up that you need some beautiful peonies for, like this is definitely better than what you're going to see at like, you know, a big box store. I'm going to move this around a little bit. You know me and the manhandling of materials. I'm excited to use this asparagus fern because it is going to be so like airy. And we'll use it to just separate these a little bit. Andrew, you have 4 dogs. Every time Andrew tells me something, it's like a little bit more, I'm a little bit more blown away because I just found out that Andrew is a nerd. No, I had no idea. But in case any of you didn't know, Andrew is a nerd. She has quite the job. I can't believe you have 4 dogs. You have to tell us what they are. I was thinking with 2 little ones, there would not be a whole lot of room for a bunch of little pups. All right, so let's see. We are going to move to our roses. I totally agree, Maggie, about like a meet and greet. How would we want to do that? Would that be like would that be like a virtual thing? Would that be like, what do you have in mind? You tell me, because I love it. I think, so I know we have a Zoom call scheduled on April 30th to do the virtual wreath kit, which it does not matter to me either way if people are actually using the wreath kit or they're just on. But I'm like, I haven't heard, it's like we all chat, but like you haven't actually heard each other's like voices and all that stuff. So I am 100% on board with that. And if you have any ideas around like the forum you'd like that to happen in, I'm all for it. Yeah, so Geraldine, these are all TMI gifts. And they are just an amazing company. They have a really wide array of styles. They have a ton of signs. They have beautiful florals. Their ribbon is like phenomenal, and the pricing is great as well. So I am definitely team TMI Gifts. Okay, so when we're working on our patterns, we got to figure out what we've got. So we have 4 of the large blooms, and then we have 2 of the small blooms. So since I know I always like something cascading, let's start with the small blooms and we'll work our way in. Penny, you have chickens. Yeah, we can definitely do a regular Zoom call. It does not have to be around designing at all. Maybe that's something we'll figure out this week and like see like what a good night is for people and do that. And like maybe we can have some idea of topics that we want to do, but as like Marion, aka our member of the month, I mean, like people have so much to offer, and the amount of research that she did for that was like invaluable. Like I mean, I knew she had spent time on it, but I had no idea just what a deep dive she did into shipping, and it was incredibly helpful. So yeah, maybe we come with like a set topic, and it doesn't have to be, but if there's something that we want to all like contribute to, we could do that. Whatever. That's like the beauty of being a newer group, I think, is where maybe 6 weeks in, we have a little bit over 50 members. So it's like intimate enough that people actually know one another, and there's enough space for questions to be answered and, like feedback. And it's great to share your work. I think it's actually like kind of a sweet spot to be involved in a new group. I mean, this is all new terrain for me, but for me, it feels very fun because I actually feel like I know people. Hey, Connie, how are you? Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining us. So somebody has like a blue icon, but I don't see a name. So they started making a wreath with faux eucalyptus, but couldn't finish it because of the plastic. You know, it's like, it's so hit or miss because there are several like just all plastic greenery that I love, but I know what you mean. It's like it, and then if it's something you don't like, you kind of get really stuck on it. A lot of it has to do with the coloring, you know. I have a great thing coming up for you guys with some dupes I found. You know how like when you have like makeup dupes and it's like looks like the real thing, but it's not the real thing. I found some sweet dupes and I'm excited to share it. All right, and then we're gonna put this. This one is so pretty. I don't want to like glaze over how beautiful these roses are. They're like a soft yellow, almost like a cream, a little bit in between. And let's just balance this out. All right, and now we're going to use our Natural Touch Asparagus Fern. And I love this. I will definitely be buying this. I think this is going to make a great filler, but also like the coloring of it. You know, I like to have a bush that has multiple stems on it, just so that you can break it up and disperse. This is a fantastic artificial greenery. All right, so let me snip this. Aw, Geraldine, I'm sorry. It is so hard. And sometimes I think like we feel uncomfortable talking about how sad we feel when we lose a pet, but the feelings are real. Oh, we do have TMI Gifts in the house. And TMI Gifts, there is like something extra in the box. I have not even opened it yet because I was excited. So I'm gonna open it, I think at the end, but we're doing great with these products. so humbly stated. But everyone is absolutely loving these peonies, these garden roses. Like it's all gorgeous. And the greenery is so lifelike. So we're about to use our Natural Touch Asparagus Fern. So here we go. And to my friends at TMI Gifts, I hope you just note how wonderful the people on this live are, because they are just a very, very special crew. And I am very grateful to have them in my corner. So let's go in and we're going to start filling in any of the gaps. And what's nice about this is that we can kind of spread this out, even though it's on one stem. It's nice and malleable, so we want to get the most bang for our buck by just making sure that we're putting them off in different directions. And then anywhere that if you have, you know, the greenery at the stem, I would recommend just stripping that down because the material is that soft plastic. So we want it to go in without any issue, without melting. So I would just give that a little bit of a strip down. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean. And put it into your wreath like so. I might even like thin out some of this wax greenery. So we want to alternate just to make sure that we are creating a nice and balanced look. So we've done some on top, but now we're just going to go down below and make sure that we're filling those in. Again, we're just stripping off nothing more than the part of the stem that's going to be going into our wreath. We don't want to waste any of these beautiful greens. And I always like things that are kind of coming out. I always call them like disruptors. If you think about how gardens grow, everything is not like neat and orderly. What makes it beautiful is it's like a bunch of beautiful things all growing together, and it's kind of like beautiful chaos. So I love me a disruptor, and this greenery is a great example of one, because it's kind of, you know, protruding. Like when you know, I'm always throwing a lot of shade at some manufactured wreaths, but like these are things that make things look very handcrafted and unique. Yes, TMI, everyone loves these peonies. I mean, we're talking like these could be used, they'd be perfect for like a wedding, you know, using sustainable wedding decor. They're just absolutely perfect. I mean, I'm not sure if I even mentioned, they were like $10. Let me look, let me double check. This entire kit, okay, was under $80. It was like 75, and then I did an extra bunch of peonies, so that brings it to like 85. And I haven't even used all the peonies yet. I mean, like the materials here, the price is amazing. And then you can use the code KARA20 and you get another 20% off. So it's like, I mean, what's there to think about, honestly? And I'm not a salesy person, but I am going to say, like, when something is a good deal, it's a good deal. Because you could go to a big box store and I guarantee their bouquet of peonies is not like that. Like, that is a fact. We all know that section. We've been there. We've checked it out. Seen the sticker. Had a little bit of sticker shock, but these are absolutely worth it and less expensive than those. All right, so just going in and filling out. I always want to make sure that we have something coming out from the bow. Yeah, we still have two big peony blooms that we can use. So let's see. I think I'm going to put one down here. Oh, yeah. Geraldine is like painting the picture of the cascading bridal bouquet with ribbons. Absolutely. And these would photograph so well. I mean, they are so lifelike. Like there's nothing being compromised by using florals like this. 100%. You guys know I'm very honest. If something does not work for me and I won't use it, and these things are beautiful. I will absolutely be using more of these. Imagine like doing like a whole lush, like cottage style wreath with this. I bet if you did maybe 3, probably 4 would be safer, or 3 with when you know you've got some fillers, and doing just a full wreath like that. Oof, that would blow those Amazon things away. I know I talk about those Amazon bunches that people use, but like they don't know that these are out here. I think that's actually a great next project for me. All right, so I just want to match the height of here a little bit. And we still have our welcome sign. There's like so many goodies. Yay. Yeah, the peonies are very feminine, very dainty. And TMI Gifts is saying that they ship out, they can sometimes ship out the next day if you put the order in early enough. And that is very true because I'm always surprised at just how quickly things arrive. You know, sometimes there's just such a lull, and it's like when you, if you have a custom order and you've got somebody waiting, it can be kind of stressful because not only do you actually take the time to make it, but then you're waiting for just to have the actual items, and TMI delivers so quickly. So quickly. Let's do one of these. I really love these little asparagus ferns. I've never worked with them before. It's always good having things that are so malleable because you can just move them around however you see fit. And honestly, even like the leaves that are left over on those peony like sheathing things, they're beautiful. Like I would not waste any piece of these. So I always like to have like that visual interest at the end. I think that these are a great use of them. You know, sometimes we're not into the nubbins, but this is not a nubbin. This is a quality piece of greenery. Chef's kiss. I love that. Let's see. Yay! Yeah, Maggie and anybody else that orders from TMI Gifts. First off, if you have not tried them yet, definitely check out their website because you will see that they are the front runners for a lot of different ribbon styles. Okay, so things that you might see on a website, definitely always double back and see because there's a very good chance that they have it. Like a lot of the I know I say this wrong all the time, but chinoiserie ribbon, they have it. So they are another great resource. They ship quick, and I'm trying to think if the shipping is free past a certain amount. I think it is, but TMI Gifts, if you're able to confirm or deny, that would be fantastic. I just don't want to misrepresent. Thanks so much, Susan. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I do. And TMI is also doing different wreath kits, like with different designers. So there's a patriotic one right now. Like, so they always have something like fun going on. So it's absolutely worth taking the time to check them out. All right, so the last thing we have is our sign. Okay, yeah. Free shipping after $50 with code TMI24. Oh, absolutely. Because TMI Gifts, we were talking recently about cost of florals, but then as a group we started, and Marion led the way. That's why she's our like member of the month. But when we started to calculate how much we were paying for shipping for certain things, all of a sudden like wholesale was not really any better than shopping in other places. So this group is like very in tune right now with the whole shipping and what that value is. So we're all about free shipping after $50, and this group will definitely spend 50 bucks very quickly. All right, so we're gonna do our sign. So I'm gonna get some zip ties. And thank goodness this already has the holes punched in it. Let's see. Let me just make sure that this matches up. I think this sign is so cute. You know, I see a lot of those like wooden signs, and I think those are cute. I absolutely do. There's no shade being thrown whatsoever. But I also think it's just so nice to have them like surrounded by flowers. So let's see. I'm gonna put my first one up here, and I'm not gonna tighten it until all right. So I'm gonna feed this right through the grapevine. Am I showing you, or am I just hold on? Yep, just giving you a close up of my face. That was my goal. Okay, so I am feeding this zip tie through the grapevine because I want to hide the mechanics. Sometimes I use brown zip ties, but because the sign is white, I think that's going to actually be more disruptive, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to lightly tighten it, okay, because I want to give this room that once I get the second one done, I can actually figure out where I want its final placement. Feed this right through. Again, this is where it's nice to have like such an even, good quality wreath, because you know sometimes it's like it's super tight in one spot and it's just inconsistent, and here it's like the materials slide nicely within any part of this because it's full enough, but it's also like not super compact in any area. All right, so on, get it out a little bit. I want this to be nice and snug. Let me flip her around for a sec. All right. All right, so here it is on the back. Okay, we're gonna end up snipping that, but I definitely like the placement. And what I like to do, I know that glue doesn't necessarily adhere to the metal signs. However, if you are putting glue where the zip tie is, the zip tie is plastic, so you are covered. So let me just take a little bit of greenery, because you know me, I don't like to see any of the mechanics. So really, this thing is adhering more to the zip tie than the metal sign, so it's going to be fine. And then I'm going to repeat below. No one wants to know how the sausage is made, okay? We need to just keep all of our mechanics covered up and just let somebody have a very natural, beautiful looking wreath. So let me see, let's take a quick step back. And I'm just going to put this last peony right up here. All right, so our next step, as always, is we flip this over, and we're going to be trimming not only our zip ties, but all of these stems. These are all things that are going to damage a customer's door, and we do not want that. So we are going to go through, and as we're clipping, the part that we're snipping is actually the piece that was dipped in the glue. So we're going to go back with our glue gun and we're going to cover that up. We're going to give it a little bit more glue and put some moss on it. Again, to hide the mechanics, but we want to make sure that this is secure. So I'm in New England, I'm in New Hampshire, and when there's a storm or anything like that, I do not bring my wreath in. Everything I want to be made to endure being outdoors, including the sun, the wind, the snow, the rain, anything. Mother Nature is really erratic up here. So you want to design, or at least I want to design in a way that when I do my listings, I don't have to say that things need to be necessarily like covered and all that stuff. It's totally fine if people are using materials that do need that. I'm not saying it in that way. I'm just saying for me, that is how I design things. So just checking on the comment. Thank you, Rita and Amy and TMI Gifts. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys like it. I mean, materials can really make or break things, can't they? So when you are working with materials like this, it would almost be hard to make a bad looking wreath. All right, so right now I am, let's see, just adding glue onto those spots. But you know what? I think I'm just going to lower you instead. All right, so anywhere that I snipped, including the zip ties, I am adding just a dab of glue. We're still using fancy moss because I'm still waiting for my moss order to come in. This is from HomeSense. I would definitely not use $15 moss on a back of a wreath, but that's what we are doing until it comes in. So we get some lucky customers because we have had several wreaths going out with this type of moss. All right, I think we're pretty good. So as always, I'm going to use the hairdryer to help get the glue hairs out. Okay, but look at this. We're on an 18-inch frame. She's probably a good 22 inches in diameter overall. So it's like when you want to greet your guests before you even open the door, you have a welcoming sign. I love that. I think that's such like it's such a warm, welcoming entryway. You know, I do, as like a professional hazard, I absolutely look at people's doors when I'm driving. Like someday I may go off the road, but I just can't help it. But when I see like a really beautiful, like well curated entryway, like I get so intrigued by, you know, who they are. I just like automatically have like all these like positive ideas about how like stylish and fashionable and how welcoming they are. And, you know, like they really take pride in their home. So I think for any of my fellow creators, like that's kind of like what we do. We help curate that for people. We create that piece that makes their house stand out against like, you know, among all of the other ones on the street. So that is our calling, I think. Make the world a beautiful place, a door at a time. So I'm still going to open up the gift from TMI. I mean, this itself was just a treat alone, but there is a gift. So let's check that out. I'm glad you guys are spending my Sunday with me. Because actually, I end my work week with you. I end with you guys on Friday, and to kind of kick it off on a Sunday, just good stuff. So let's see. And of course, everything's beautifully packaged because that's what they do. Thank you, Lori. Very nice note from Lori. And for anybody who, I know sometimes we talk about the 4-inch ribbon, like just being a bit intimidating. Lori's one of the people that I talk about that she just has like a fistful of like 4-inch bows, like huge, huge loops. She does it like it's like nothing. I mean, it's just, she is one of those gifted people. So if you go on like TMI's website, TMI Gifts website, you can see videos of her, but she is one of those people that just makes it look like so easy. So I am still watching her. I need to get a little further along and actually apply what I'm learning. But this is so cute. Happy Home dish towel and spoon. Yeah, I know. I mean, how could you not? How could you not love Lori, honestly? But this group talks about it because I am like a 2.5-inch ribbon person, but you know, I know that for certain parts of the country, like in Texas, like they do only like 4-inch ribbon. So how sweet is this? I love this color. And I love to cook, so this is great. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying these won't be filled with wine sometime, but if you say chill and relax, there's a good chance there could be some Chardonnay in here. So thank you so much, TMI Gifts. Thank you guys for watching, and all my regulators. You guys are always amazing. You make this group so special. You make it so personable. And I know that when other people kind of like take a peek in, it's you that makes the difference. So I am forever grateful, and I can't wait to have some wine in here. Just kidding. I'll have coffee in here too. So thank you so much, TMI Gifts. And I hope everybody has a great night, okay? I'll see you guys soon.